It's my feel-good breakfast show.
You're on your Feel Good Breakfast Show right here on S3. And my friend, we always have these conversations around how our health and wellness matters. And giving yourself the gift of actually making sure that you prioritize it, it's the best thing you can do. And this is why this morning we are talking about a pressing health issue that honestly is so common among so many people. And I'm talking about metabolic syndrome. And this is also why we've got people who can actually speak to it and let you know exactly what you need to know in terms of shedding light on it and also possibly lend a helping hand. So this morning we are joined by none other than CEO of the Medical Nutritional Institute, Marianne du Plessis, as well as researcher. It is Ashley Smith from MNI. Hello, ladies.
Hello, thank you.
How are you?
Very good.
That's good. You guys look beautiful. But now we want to be beautiful on the inside. What is metabolic syndrome and what do we actually need to know about it?
Yeah. The metabolic syndrome is a combination of conditions that increase your risk of developing serious illnesses.
Sure.
There are 5 components to the metabolic syndrome. The first one is central obesity, being overweight, especially weight around your middle.
Yeah.
And here insulin resistance plays a central role. The second and the third component are both high of abnormal cholesterol. And there we focus on high triglyceride levels or low HDL, which is your good cholesterol.
Sure.
The fourth component is abnormal or unregulated blood glucose levels.
Yes.
And then the fifth one is high blood pressure. For a diagnosis, only 3 of the 5 components needs to be present.
Oh,
and
wow.
the reality is that 1 out of every 4 South Africans already suffers from the metabolic syndrome.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a lot of us.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
It's quite serious.
It is quite serious. I'm glad that you guys are bringing light to it, and thank you for coming to do so on our Feel Good Breakfast show so that we can feel good. But then for you, Ashley, please can you let us know, what are the symptoms that we need to look out for exactly?
So most of the components don't have symptoms, but one visible sign is being overweight, specifically having excess body fat around your waist. Overweight men are 32 times more likely, and overweight women are 17 times more likely to meet the criteria of the metabolic syndrome.
Yeah.
At MNI, we have personal experience working with a number of overweight patients at pharmacy clinics, corporate health, diabetic prevention and weight loss programs. And what we see is that many of these individuals already suffer from the medical complications of obesity, including heart disease and diabetes.
Sure, and I feel like that's something that so many people suffer from, especially with our diets these days, you know what I mean? But then now speak to us about the dangers of metabolic syndrome, because of course someone can be like, okay, I have this thing, maybe I can get it under control, but what if someone doesn't?
So when you suffer from the metabolic syndrome, you actually have a 5 times greater risk of developing diabetes. You have double the risk of having a heart attack or a stroke, and then you're actually 3 times more likely to die as a result of these complications.
Sure.
The good news is that the metabolic syndrome is one of the few life-threatening conditions that respond very well to early and aggressive intervention.
Hectic. And you see, this is the thing. Now we can get the intervention from MNI. So, Marianne, speak to me about this. What solutions do you guys have for South Africans who might suffer from it?
MNI have developed a series of health solutions to address these components and also health-related conditions associated with the metabolic syndrome.
Yes.
As a healthcare organization, we want to improve the health of our patients. We want to increase their life expectancy.
Yes.
And very importantly, we want to reduce their health cost. What sets MNI apart is that we address the underlying cause of the problem and not just the symptoms. Now, if I can just focus a little bit on insulin resistance, because it is important. And the reason is because it causes or worsens most of the components of the metabolic syndrome. And it is the single biggest contributor to the development of type 2 diabetes. But the good news is that if you get that under control, you can prevent serious future health conditions, and that's where MNI plays a role.
I love that. Yes.
We've developed Antaglin over the past 20 years that really assists patients. It combats insulin resistance and it optimizes your glucose metabolism. Now, we also combine it with lifestyle support, which is very important. It's available on our website. It's meal plans, it's exercise programs.
Yes.
And always make sure that you buy the original Antaglin.
And exactly that is what we want. Want the original. No fakes here. There's no time for that. But your commitment to education, ladies, it is incredible indeed. And please continue doing what you're doing because it speaks to you and wanting the rest of South Africa to be in the best shape possible. So thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you.
We've been chatting to MNI all about the metabolic syndrome. And as you heard here today, it is all about making sure that you get to that prevention because prevention is key when it comes to it. Yeah. So This is why you got to make sure that you stay informed and stay proactive.